Do you want to see a hidden, suspended monorail? My road trip brought me to Gloucestershire and to the River Severn. The Severn estuary has one of the highest tidal ranges in the world, 15 metres between high and low tide, staggering amounts of water flowing in and out every day. Crossing it are two bridges, the Severn Bridge from the 1960s and the second Severn Crossing, completed in 1996 and now officially called the Prince of Wales Bridge. That's the bridge that these days takes most of the traffic crossing the water between England and Wales. And it is a masterpiece. 5 kilometres long. The outer parts, the approaches, are held up on concrete piers 100 metres apart, anchored to the rock under the estuary. But the inner part of the bridge needs to be wide enough and tall enough that large ships can still pass under it. So that is a metal cable-stayed bridge, 1 kilometre long. Cable-stayed means, unlike a suspension bridge, the bridge deck is held up by the cables that are physically connected to the pylons, the two big towers. But I wasn't there to see the bridge itself, at least not at first. After a lot of negotiation between my producers and National Highways, I was there to see the suspended monorail that's tucked away underneath it. Full disclosure, National Highways did ask to check this video before it went out, but they've had no editorial control beyond my offer to blur stuff if needed. I met the folks from National Highways at the maintenance depot at what's called the Avon Abutment on the English side of the bridge.
It's a lovely day for it.
It's beautiful, yeah, you've picked a very good day.
That is Dan. He's been part of the team working on the bridge since its construction. Holding the camera is Liam, who's from the National Highways media team and who had no idea quite what he was getting himself into that day. Because the plan was, take the monorail out to the English pylon and then go up to the top of the bridge. That's not exactly what happened. The first thing we saw was the maintenance gantry, currently being decommissioned and replaced. That's how they get people to inspect the outside of the bridge. It could rotate around for transport and be moved along the bridge on the two blue rails that you can see. We were just talking about that old gantry when...
We're looking at replacing this for me. So, that's the rat.
That's the rat.
Starting up, we're about to go out on. So the rail in the centre, Tom, that's the rat rail. And
Yep.
RAT stands for Rapid Access Train.
Yep.
It's a monorail that the rat hangs off.
See the rail just there and the square holes in the bridge? That's what we'll be travelling on and through.
Hey,
All
should we
right.
make our way up?
Yeah, lead the way. Just to be clear to the audience, there has been a long safety briefing before I've been allowed up here, and every single piece of equipment in the hand is being safely tethered on. You have a little railway station up here.
It is.
The rat is a very rare thing, a suspended monorail. It's on the underside of the road deck, the surface of the bridge, and almost none of the tens of thousands of people who travel over the Prince of Wales Bridge each day have any idea that it exists.
All right.
Here we go.
Hit my head again.
There's no room for your legs. I was sitting on a chair, but the seat of the chair was just on the floor.
Of course, what I have to remember is, this is the bottom of the train. There's very little headroom and there's very little legroom.
Okay, Steve, thank you.
Where are you going?
M2, mate, please.
That was the view that Steve the driver gets. It's quite limited, but given that it's a monorail, that's probably not a massive problem. That big box is the generator for the rat, and it's the first of 4 carriages. We were sitting in the second, our other driver was sat in the third for safety, and the fourth was a metal cage for any equipment that we'd need to bring across. We started at the station for Pier N48.
This is very tight clearances here. That is maybe 2 inches.
Yeah.
And just down there is the tidal mud flats of the Severn. We are out over water now. Such a tight clearance.
It is. So if it's, for whatever reason, really howling winds, unfortunately we can't run the rat. Now it is quite protected here, so the winds have to be really bad.
So we have another driver in the back there.
We do. You always got one driver in each cabin, and the driver is always facing the direction of travel.
Presumably in case of emergency. I know this had a long safety briefing, but there are so many levels of safety here.
Yeah, there has to be, yeah.
So 2 drivers.
2 drivers at all times.
Yeah.
Big thing is, if this was to break down, for whatever reason, if we lost power with the diesel generator,
Yeah.
we've got a battery, an auxiliary drive that kicks in. I've worked on the structure since I was 18 years of age, and I'm 50. I'm 50, so Yeah, I've worked here, my whole working life has been spent on this structure. I worked in construction. However, all through construction, which was 1992 to 1996, the furthest I ever got out over the water was the stitch beams back on the even abutment.
Oh, right.
So it wasn't until I come onto the maintenance that I was lucky enough to see the structure from all sides.
We passed through another station, which made me realise, when you get off at a station, where are you going? And who's going there? Because surely there's nowhere to walk to underneath the bridge.
Like, obvious question, what's the ramp used for? I haven't even established that yet.
Not a silly question, it is logistics. Getting labour, plant, material out onto the bridge. You could walk out. If you ever come back, Tom, I'll take you for a walk through the bridge.
But presumably that's up on the road deck.
No,
No?
these viaducts are hollow.
Oh,
Inside is a walkway and you can walk. It's 5 kilometres, but you can go inside the bridge at the Avon abutment and you can walk all the way out to the Gwent abutment.
Let me just show you that shot, looking up at the bridge one more time, because it's important. There's no place to walk along the underside of the bridge. You're either taking the Rat or that big gantry, or you're walking on the inside of the bridge, in the hollow parts, the viaducts. One on the north side, one on the south. I really wanted a closer look at that, and I realised as we trundled along in the Rat that I was missing half the story here. There are hidden viaducts and we were speeding right past them, and there were expansion joints, the metal cable-stayed bridge out in the centre of the river. That'll expand and contract day to day as the sun warms it and the night cools it. But the big concrete approaches, where we were then, they have many, many times the thermal mass, so they'll expand and contract with the seasons. And over kilometres of concrete bridge, that means there have to be gaps that it can expand into.
We are going over a movement joint. You know, you said to me about the expansion
we've slowed
joint?
down a lot here.
Yeah. So this is one of the 10 movement joints that allow the bridge to expand and contract.
That's such a big gap.
Yeah.
Wow. That's massive.
I wanted a better shot of that.
So we're coming up to another station, it looks like?
Yeah, another Rat station. So the Rat could stop and people could get out onto the station and go into either the north or the south viaducts according to where they're walking.
Yeah, we got a station on both sides here. There's a road up there.
Yeah.
Why not use the road? Because presumably there's access between the road deck and the internal bridge. Why bother to put a suspended monorail in?
We have got a maintenance strip, and we do use it for access. The team quite often walk in and out on the maintenance strip.
By maintenance strip, Dan means just the side of the road with high-speed motorway traffic going past inches away.
The best planning in the world is out of our control. Items do come off vehicles.
Yep.
So we try and not use the maintenance strip. It's not a public right of way, like the Severn Bridge.
Right.
It's not a public right of way.
Turn it off and on again?
I think so. So as I said, this Rat has just undergone 18 months of totally being stripped down.
I'm riding a brand new refurbished Rat.
You are. It's as I said
go.
to you, I'm really excited. It's the first time in 18 months that I've been on it.
The Rat actually had a bit of a troubled history. Shortly after the bridge opened, engineers found cracks in the monorail and it was decommissioned for a few years before everything was repaired and resurrected in the early 2000s because it is very useful. Long-time viewers of this channel will know that I have quite a history with monorails. I actually think they're terrible in almost all circumstances, particularly for public transit. But in this case, it seems like it's a good option. But alas, that day, luck was not with the newly refurbished Rat, and the next few moments seemed terrible at the time, but in hindsight, they were the best thing to happen to this video. Other than, of course, getting it sponsored. I really do use NordVPN all the time. This ad's a little different though. They asked me to talk about their next-gen antivirus, and I didn't understand what that was, so I asked them.
We have our own phishing detection models, scam detection models, fake shop detection models to detect if it's something is malicious, scams, calls, dark web, banking checks, etc.
So they'll block malware and phishing sites and scams before they reach your device, not after they've been downloaded. And they'll alert you if they find leaked or stolen credentials that match yours. I talked to them for a long time about technical stuff and privacy, and they've convinced me they know what they're doing.
It's always designed around that we don't know who is the user. We don't know name or address. We don't know nothing.
They've got independent tests backing up that it works. And the VPN's still there. When I'm travelling, it stops websites sending me to local translated versions. It lets me access sites that block certain countries. And I've saved hundreds of dollars on car rentals by clicking NordVPN's magic button to make it look like I'm back in the UK. Same car, same details, lower price. NordVPN works across Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS and Android on up to 10 devices at the same time. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee if you want to test it out. Go to nordvpn.com/Tom Scott, scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description and you'll get the best deal they're currently offering. As I was saying, the rat was not having a good day.
This might be a good time, and I realise it's not going to happen, but we were talking about rescue procedures. So there would be a backup electric generator.
That's your auxiliary drive, yeah. These guys can basically turn the diesel generator off. You might even witness it in a moment.
Oh, okay.
And move using the, it's a battery, but we call it the auxiliary drive. It's very slow, however, very powerful.
Right. Just huge amounts of torque.
Yeah. So all you would do is get to the nearest rat station, and then obviously you can get people off. You might have to walk in or out.
Was that beep an acknowledgement from the other driver there that all's good? Or?
Just the radio.
Just the radio, okay.
There is another way of getting people out using RA1, which is a minibus and a backup vehicle.
Yep.
We don't like doing it.
No,
we
would
would
got people next to live traffic.
100%.
Neptune kilo Neptune in, yeah.
So, auxiliary drive.
Yeah, Dick, you take over and take us back to the last station.
So what they're doing now, you don't really appreciate here, but the bridge is on an angle.
Yep.
So the reason we're going to go back that way, and that's why there's two drivers, we're going to use gravity to help us go back.
Right.
Breakdowns happen. Ideally, not when someone's got two cameras on you and your monorail, but they can deal with this. Plan A, actually Plan B, I guess. We were already on Plan B. That was to use the generator again, but go in the other direction.
Back in the day when this first came out and had one cabin, honestly, I'm not making this up, there was a little wheel under the seat and a pole, and you had to put it in a slot on the generator and turn this wheel.
Right.
It worked.
To crank it, to
turn it, just to get back to, but it took forever. It took forever, and you'd have to take it in turns as the people in there. We got rid of that.
The generator still kept causing trouble, and while the drivers kept trying, it was clear we were going to Plan C, the battery backup, which did work, which is great. We very slowly moved on. But I will admit to a slight disappointment that we didn't end up using Plan D.
We got permanent rope access on the bridge. A lot of our inspectors, not all of them, but a lot of them are rope access trained.
This is folks who can abseil.
This is folks that can abseil, industrial abseil, and folks that, if need be, and in 30 years we've only ever done it once, can climb out to the rat, actually get to us, and
so they'd send a rescue boat out, and we'd have to abseil down.
Generators off. That's the auxiliary drive.
Oh, so we're actually on the auxiliary now.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to have a technical problem when we're filming.
I know. The electrical team will have to walk out from the station.
Yep.
So we've got a decision now. I think we are probably better off, rather than waiting for the electrical team to come out, and it could take an hour to diagnose. I think we should go into the structure, which wasn't planned, but it's very interesting, and walk to the cable stay.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a whole section I didn't expect to get in this video, so thank you. This was meant to be a little video about a monorail, and all of a sudden that's become a lot more. Thank you.
My thanks in particular to Liam behind the camera, who, again, is from the media team and kept smiling despite, I assume, being somewhat frustrated that filming wasn't going to plan and that the rat wasn't behaving.
What you won't be privy to is all the cussing back there. Now the electrical department got to walk all the way through the viaduct carrying their kit.
Which pier are we on? We started at N48.
No, we're about halfway out.
Okay.
So we have got a walk inside.
Yeah. I keep hitting my head on this.
So what do they say in the media world? Never work, was it, with children and animals?
Animals, yeah.
So technically, well, this is a rapid access.
Hey!
So there you are. Okay, thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Sorry about that. No
That's
problem.
not your fault.
Thank you. Thank you for getting us back.
Right? I'll tell you what wasn't on the schedule. Stopping at this pier and seeing that view. Good heavens. Blimey. All right. Let me get my GoPro back out of there and I guess we're going for a walk.
We're going for a walk.
Right. I'm glad someone's made a padded surface here. That's nice. Oh, wow.
So welcome to Avon Viaduct North. The structure's 5 kilometres long and we've got 48 piers plus the abutment, so 50.
So, now we walk that way
We walk that way, yeah?
for quite a while.
And what you've got to remember to do is turn the lights out as you go.
All right,
Let's go.
let's go. Let's walk inside a bridge.
We're still out on the concrete section there. The cables you can see are internal post-tensioning. During construction, those cables were passed through ducts in each 100-metre section of the bridge, stretched, and then, while they were stretched, anchored into the structure at both ends. Because they want to return to their original length, that pull puts the entire concrete structure under permanent compression. And concrete is strong in compression, but weak in tension. So it's like having someone permanently squeezing to hold everything together and keep it strong.
What you're about to get to now...
That sounds like an expansion joint.
It's one of the movement joints, yeah.
So that huge gap that we saw earlier that I pointed out from the rant, we're about to cross it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, down is the River Severn. Forward, thanks to Liam who's holding the camera there. And backwards is the bridge. And that is the expansion joint. A hell of a lot more close up than I thought I'd ever get to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep going. I didn't expect to see that close up. Thank you very much.
This is really good, actually, because normally, you know, you go out on the rat or you get RA1 out and everyone wants to see the cable stay bridge. But this is the truth. This is what our guys have to walk day in, day out most of the time.
Right. Oh yeah, everyone wants to see the pretty bits, but the repetitive concrete structure here with no clue of where we are or how
Do you
deep
know
we
what?
are.
I've worked here, like I say, my whole life. If you were to bring me in one of these viaducts, spin me round, the only real way I know if I was heading to England or to Wales, the cable stayed bridge, is the markings on the wall. So this tells me, remember I said everything numbers from Wales to England?
We start at N48.
Yeah. So this just lets me know I'm in the North Viaduct. I am closer to Pier 35 than I am to Pier 36.
35, 36 and 05 is...
At 05, I'm the 5th segment from Pier 36.
Oh, so when you say segment, that's... Because this is 04 over here.
Yeah.
So this is the connection between the segments just here.
If you look from a drone shot on the outside, you can see the lines where each segment ends, the same ones that we're seeing from the inside as we walk over them.
So these are precast, either on the English side or the Welsh side. Primarily, most of it was done on the English side, although not all of it. And yeah, this...
That's the joint.
This would be brought out, dropped into place, literally glued, and through here, something called a MacLeod bar that obviously you can't see now, but it's a steel bar, like 50 mil diameter, and it would be bolted 4 segments, and that would support it until X amount of segments were in, and the post-tensioning can go through.
So it's just build it out, build it out, build it out, get to the next pier, build it out, build it out, build it out. And I haven't yet figured out a pattern, if that makes sense. Every single time we go to a new section, I'm surprised by the gradient of what it's doing.
When you get to 29, it's the transition. We leave the concrete, and then we go on the cable stay bridge, which is a kilometre of steelwork then.
It's getting dark up ahead. That's just a deep black hole. You forget, you're down here with the lights on.
Yeah.
And it feels normal.
Yeah.
This should be pitch black. We are completely encased.
So,
All right,
Okay.
onwards.
You can just see, if you pardon the pun,
Just see,
you
there's
can just see light at the end of the
there's
tunnel.
light at the end of the tunnel there.
Okay, so this is the transition
Oh, yeah, okay.
from concrete to steel. So again,
Mind
watch
the
your
head,
head.
yeah.
As Liam quite rightly pointed out. Yeah. I personally don't think anyone over 5'7" should be employed to work on this structure. It's too much of a safety risk.
We reached the end of the concrete part of the crossing. Now it was out over the channel in the middle onto the cable-stayed bridge. There was another movement joint to let the two parts expand and contract, and it was incredibly loud there.
Above your head there,
Yeah.
the reason it's so loud, that is called a bridging plate.
Right.
It is solid steel, about 100 mil deep, wrapped in rubber. And so car tyres are on top of that plate.
Right.
The live traffic is running over that.
10 centimetres of rubber-wrapped steel between us and the car tyres. No more concrete structure. We headed out on the metal catwalks under the cable-stayed bridge.
So we are literally just above the Severn estuary here.
We are indeed, yeah.
I hope the camera is getting the scale of this. So the rat would pass through the big old hole next to where we were
The walkway, yeah.
and just head out
Yeah.
under there.
So I casually walked out on the catwalk with just the metal grating and about 50 metres of air between me and the Severn estuary. The tide had mostly gone out by this point, so it was just mud and rocks down there. We had a couple of 100 metres of catwalks to get across.
I know for a huge number of people, this is their job. This is not remarkable. This is just where they have to come out day after day after day in wind and cold and sleet and snow. But for an average civilian, thank you so much to everyone. 3 points of contact. There's a very weird effect here where if I look down, if I show you the view down here, my brain refuses to accept how far away that is. I keep thinking that it's an optical illusion. We are so high up, and that is so massive that it's not the size of structure that the brain's designed to deal with. All right, this is M2 pylon.
This is M2 pylon, yeah.
Woo! Wow. So the rat would, we're under the rat rail.
We are.
If the rat was running right now,
Yeah.
we would not be allowed to be here.
No, these chains would be across.
Yep.
And when the rat parks here, this is where you
Yep.
embark straight down the steps.
The last things to do, then, get to the bottom and the top of the pylon.
Right, so should we head down?
Yeah.
Bag coming down. It's quite heavy, watch out. You've got it.
We set down most of our bags in the welfare, the little rest area in the middle of the pylon.
And if you need a cup of tea, you can make a cup of tea.
The next bit was going to involve some very cramped spaces, so I switched to my 360 camera and we headed to the elevator.
Oh, that is a long way down. So we're going down first?
We're going to start at the bottom, it keeps on level, and work our way up. So these are quite rickety lifts. They're
Yep.
called rack and pinion lifts, and they are the lifts from construction.
Right.
As the pylon went up, they were put in, so they're very basic. You'll be pleased to know on this occasion, Liam, if these break down, it's purely gravity fed to the next lift. And there is ladders, landings from top to bottom.
Right.
It is spectacular, the view at the pylon top, but this view, from an engineering perspective, for me, is the view. This is what I actually get excited when I show people, because no one really wants to see this as much as the top. Okay,
Oh, wow.
so just get your bearings a moment. We are on, this pylon is the English one. That one is the Welsh, that's M1.
Oh, so the border is just here.
Yeah, above our heads there is the walkway that we walked in.
You can also see the other gantry there, hanging underneath the road deck. Dan's right. From an engineering perspective, this was the most impressive view because you can see all the details of the bridge.
So how high up will we be?
Above the seabed, 150 metres, 165 metres. I never let my colleagues forget on the Severn Bridge that we're a couple of metres higher. It's very minimal, but
It counts.
it counts.
All right.
If you just wait there, mate, guys, I will
Yep.
get us. I will get some light on the subject.
Can't see a thing. I'm glad you know where you're going. We're all good?
Yeah, all good. You come on up.
All right.
Okay, if you want to,
Yep.
you can use that there.
Yep.
This will move only slightly. It won't come down, okay?
Okay.
That's it. Keep
Yep.
coming up. Okay, so get your bearings.
Oh, wow.
England, Severn Bridge, Wells.
Sometimes it's really difficult to keep my profanity PG rated when I'm somewhere like this.
Yeah, I can honestly say it never gets boring.
The wind.
Yeah.
There's wind on this side.
Yeah.
And the whole structure is
Moves.
just moving a little bit. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's got to bend, because if it doesn't, it'll break. And the cables come in, well, we can see them over that side, can't we?
Yeah, well, you can see them there.
Oh, that's the first time I've had a moment where I'm afraid of heights up here. Thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. And Liam, thank you. I know you didn't expect half of this today, let alone holding a camera.
I'm just glad we had a media guy here, because that would have been, I'm not sure about this. But,
This was not the plan.
No.
Thank you to both of you. That is incredible.
well, thank you for persevering with it when you went off.
How do we get back?
That's a good point. All I can do. Neptune Alpha, National Highways, over.
In the end, we did take RA1, the minibus, but you'll notice there's another van behind it, tucked away into the tiny maintenance strip to the left of lane 1. And that's because if someone loses control on the motorway, they're probably going to hit the crumple zone at the back of that van first before they hit us. It is risky to be that close to the traffic, and I feel like that point wouldn't have been made nearly as well, and this whole video wouldn't have been nearly as good if the rat had just taken us out and back. Next time, or right now on Nebula, I'm joined by astrophysicist Dr. Becky for something far more down to earth as two nerds pile up some rocks.